Hi, I'm Ken James. Well, the package has arrived from California, from OC Telescope. It looks packed really well. It's fairly light. It's a good secure box and it's addressed really clearly. And as you can see, undamaged. So it's travelled around the world and survived okay. Let's open it up and have a look. Get the sharp knife into it. Get the package slip out first. Might help. All good. Postage. $66.75 US. So probably about $75 Australian, $80 maybe, depending on the currency exchange at the time. Very good. Insured. Excellent. Alright, keep going. Giant bubble wrap, big bags of air, always good. Okay, packed all the way around, padded. And what we see is a black bag, more padding on the bottom. Okay, so it's been padded well to start with. And we can open this bag up and have a look. It's all sealed to keep it watertight. Oh, it's a good solid case. Yeah, really solid. Good, let's open it up and have a look. Oh, there's a fair bit in here. More packing. Oh, a monitor stand. That'd be great for standing the monitor up. Instruction booklet. Focal reducer. Even it's nicely packed. 1.25 inch nose piece. Hopefully metal. Yes, aluminium. Beautiful. Now I've got the US voltage here, the power supply. It's the American one, that'll be 110 volts and it's got different plugs. But fortunately I've got the little converter that I can use, or I can just use another power supply, an Australian one for down here in Australia. But for all you Americans, that's fine. British will need their own one. Other countries get whatever they get. But it's supplied with the American one. And the most important part is the camera. And yes, it is a lot smaller than I expected. But yep, totally unharmed. 11673 PAL. 1/3 Sony. So that's the little fella there. All in good condition. Sit in there. And this will be the monitor. That's the power supply, the connection for the power supply. And we've got a remote control for it. And we've got double-sided tape for the monitor stand. it even includes the IR filter out of the camera in case you need to use it or want to use it. They're not very good. It's best to get your own astronomical IR filter. The menu for the camera. We have instructions for the monitor. Excellent. So everything is supplied with all the instructions for each different part so you don't get confused. I like that. And what do we have over here? The cables. And they're already connected up too. So we have a remote controller for the camera. Plug the camera in the line. And there's the double connector for plugging in the monitor and the power. The monitor goes in this one. There we go. So that monitor will plug into there. Done. That will be the power in, I'm sure. We'll work that out with the instructions because they're all there to use. Now, also hidden in the lid, we have, what do we have here? An IR filter. Excellent. So you won't have to go and buy another infrared filter. It's one supplied. Yep, IR cut filter. And another item here, the battery. This is the little trick that makes it all possible without having mains power. You plug all your cables into the battery and just go out in the field and you're away, straight away. What a great idea. A total beginner's kit or easy to use kit, self-contained with everything included. This is great. So it's all arrived in great condition, unharmed and with full instructions. So I'm really pleased with the way it's travelled and the way it's come and the way it's presented in its own little safety case. Very, very good. So the next thing we need to do is to try it out, and hopefully we'll get to do that tonight because the weather's supposed to clear up nicely. I'll just show you outside what it's like at the moment. Let's take this camera outside. So as you can see, we've got pretty good sky tonight, or we have at the moment. Just to look around the horizon. And as far as postage, just another thing to point out. It was posted on the 9th of October in California, and it arrived to me here in Australia in the rural area, not in the city. I had to come out to rural on the 19th of October. So we're a day ahead, so it was actually only 9 days. And that's pretty good service. So you can understand how all the different parts work. With the camera in a dust-free environment, you take off this little protective cover, and that will expose the sensor. This is where you can use your aluminium nose piece. Now this is the hollow tube. Screw it on where the little dust cap came off, and that will now fit inside a focuser on a telescope. You can use it like that to double the focal, to reduce the focal length, to give you a wider field of view and sharper views and even brighter views. You use the focal reducer. This one's a 0.5, which I've included. That then screws on the front of the nose piece. And it's ready to go. Slide it in, straight into the focuser. Now, if you're using an Achromat, the stars can become really blobby, terrible looking stars, and that's where this IR filter will come in handy. That will screw straight on the front there. And there you go, set to go. If you don't want to reduce the focal reduction, if you don't want to focal reduce it, is what I'm trying to say. Take the focal reducer off and just put the IR filter on by itself. And there you go, ready to go. It's as simple as just placing it in the focuser and do it up. That's it, done. Okay, excuse my veggie garden in the background, but we'll connect it all up the way the kit is supplied. Everything is attached to the camera, the nose piece, the focal reducer and the filter. Slide that into the focuser. That's done. The next step says attach the remote control. So we attach the remote control to the back of the camera. That gives us camera control. We can't step too far from the camera because of the short cable. The next step is attach the power cord to the back of the camera. Power cord is found on the battery. This one. Okay, so straight away we see another problem. Where do we put the battery? Do we just leave it dangling? Do we Velcro it on here somewhere? Okay. Interesting. Where this splits, we have a Y. This one goes into the battery. So that now the battery is supplying power to the camera, and it will also supply power to the monitor. The multi-prong cable on the other end goes into the monitor. That's an interesting little plug there. So that plugs into your monitor. Now, if you don't buy the attachment to connect the little swivel ball thing, you're going to have to use the stand that comes with the camera, with the kit, and mount it on a table somewhere. But again, you're limited by a bit of space. You can't go too far with it. So we'll put that down. The next one, the camera cable itself connects onto the back of the camera after the remote control switch. And we've already put the camera in. So what we now have is, off the back of the camera, a remote control. We can't go too far with it. We're stuck. Yet, the camera comes with quite a lengthy cable, right, for moving things further apart, but you can't move further apart if you need to use this, because you're limited. We have the battery box, the battery that is here. We don't know what to do with it. Maybe put an elastic band around it and hope that the battery doesn't interfere with the camera at all. This other one's for the charger, so don't worry about that one. This whole thing, I think, really needs to be redesigned to be more practical, and I figured out there is a simpler way to do it, where you can actually have everything away. You You can stand away from the telescope and do everything at one spot. It'll take a slightly different cable and a couple of little adapters, that's all. So I'll show you how to do that one. All I've purchased is a dual cable. That's the original cable, has the twist connector, video feed. The new cable, twist cable, video feed, power. All included in the one cable. Now they come in many lengths, you can get them at 5 metres, 10 metres, 50 metres, however far you want to run. And analogue doesn't lose much signal over a lot of distance. So I've got a lot here. I can go as far away from this as I want to. I can go a short distance. I can still stand here and do what I'm going to show you. I can stand next to the telescope. I can have the monitor here. I can put it on a little table here. I can mount it here if I have to. But now I have the ability to walk long distance and still control everything and see everything, because I've also used one of these little adapters. Now what this little adapter is, it is the turn fit to a composite. And that goes on the other end of these cable. Remember, we got a remote control we want to use, so we can still hook in the remote control. Then on the other end we use that little adapter. Okay, so now our remote control is a long way away. We have the composite feed that goes to the monitor. That goes straight into there. Our power is from our battery, which is there, because it's all going through that one cable. So now we have the battery, the remote control, and our monitor that we can take with us through our veggie garden if we want. So we can move around among the people. They can hold the monitor if they want to and have a look. Okay, and we can let them control it. If this is a bit too much to hold, where's those elastics? An elastic band. Now it's one piece. You could put a little cable tie around this so it's tidier. Now you have two devices. You have the monitor and your hand controller with the battery stuck to it. Move anywhere you want. It's such a simpler idea. You can sit this on a table somewhere. Over there. Control the camera from here. You're not tied over here by the short little cables that were included. It just makes more sense, that's all. Not saying the other one's wrong. It's great for close work if you want to mount the monitor somewhere on the telescope or have it next to you on a table and control everything from here. That's great. The kit works. It does have a very long video cable, which isn't necessary, but just by replacing one cable with a dual cable and that one little adapter, and you've now made it walkabout and controllable from as far away as you want to go. If you're worried about the mount, you know, if you go too far away, like if you go, I don't know, 100, 200 feet away with your cable, how are you going to control your mount? Well, it's only a matter of putting an extension on your hand controller as well, which most people do remotely. And you can buy those. They're not that expensive. It's just another cable that's longer and put your hand controller on the end of it. And your mount's drivable from a distance too. You don't have to be here doing everything. So this just seems a simpler way for me too. It's tidier. You've only got this connected to your camera in this whole area. You can go as far as you want, and everything else is here in one bundle. Wherever you want to go. Put the monitor down. Walk around with just the hand controller, so people can look at the monitor and you're still doing things. A lot simpler. So you can either use the kit as it is up close, use a separate cable and one adapter and roam about, move the monitor around, hand the monitor to people, let them hold it and look at it, and still control everything. Much simpler, I think. But the kit is still great. Just, I don't understand the need for the short wiring in the original kit. Okay, all we've got to do now is wait for night and we'll have a look through it and see how it works. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this is the American plug. What you can get is an adapter for an Australian plug, or whatever country you live in. And the American one just plugs straight in the back of it, and then it goes into the power point and works fine, because this power supply does actually go up to 240. It's 110 to 240, so you can use it with an adapter. If you don't want to go out and buy an adapter, just use a power supply from your own country. It's only got to be 12 volt. Doesn't matter how many volts go in, as long as it's 12 volt to your battery. So you plug that in, turn the battery on. Important with this battery, it must be turned on when it's being charged. Okay, make sure it's turned on and you're in business. Now, I did mention about a hand controller being at long distance. Cat5. Just get a Cat5 cable, plug it in, same at the other end. Make it as long as you want, as long as you need. You're in business to drive your mount from a distance as well. So that way you can carry your battery, your mount control, your camera control, everything. Wherever you want to, hand the monitor around. Be free to move about. Just doing a 3-star alignment now. Got alignment successful. Very good. So the little camera's all ready to go. I'm using that double cable I was talking about, the power and analog. There's the battery running everything. There's my camera controller. And there's the monitor that's going to show us everything. And the hand controller for the mount. I've got it all separated just by one cable. Okay, I'll put this down so I can go and find something to look at. We'll try the moon while it's still daylight. And there's the moon on the monitor. The detail here is really nice. And it's instant. I can pick this up and walk around with it. Doesn't like being moved though. And I can look up there and then look there and see it. Very cool. I won't be able to try DSOs until it's dark. It's still sunset. Let's see how close I can get in for that. You might be able to see a bit more detail now. So the detail's very good. I like it. So I can move around on the screen. Just to show it as live. It does look a lot better on the monitor than what I can get it on this phone, on this camera. But, yeah, the detail is really, really nice. Yeah, well done. All right, now just wait till we get some DSOs. Well, I've found the TRIFID nebula, and I get beautiful colours in it, and then all of a sudden it just turns black and white. Right, so I'll drop down the sense up, the integration time. Right, now it's got colour, and it's black and white again. I'll bump it up to about 512. Plenty of colour. Now it's black and white. It's not holding colour for some reason. The detail's fantastic. Oh, look at the dark lanes in the TRIFID itself, and that's with a very bright moon. Oh, now it's gone colour again. Oh, very strange. Very red background sky, which you can probably change in the settings. Whoa, now it's gone crazy. I'll drop the sense up down. It'll just take a little while to catch up. It's gone back to 0 and it'll build up again, I hope. Yeah, it's starting to build. It was building in colour, now it's black and white. Now it stopped building. Here we go again. It really does have a mind of its own. But like I said earlier, I've got to learn all the camera settings yet. I'm probably not even close. I had to take the focal reducer out, so that's why the objects are so large. The focal reducer wouldn't allow me to reach focus. I couldn't get in enough. So it's a bit strong for that telescope. The one I'm using is a 120mm f5 Achromat. I've also put a yellow filter on to stop the chromatic aberration and the violet fringing. And that's working well. But we're having trouble with the colour here, so we'll just keep persevering for a while. And when I get it looking better, I'll come back. If not, well, I'll just let you know. I've let it sit a bit longer, just to see if it had settled down. And the noise has settled down a lot. The blue is starting to show up a little bit, but there's this dark red across the bottom. And depending where I hold the camera how much it shows up. Down there it looks okay. Oh well, that's TRIFID. A lot of detail. I'll see how close I can get in for you and still keep focus. Lots of detail. Okay, let's head off to something else. We're just slewing across to Tarantula. We'll see if that shows up in this moonlight. Now, I'm not sure why it does this either, but whenever I move the telescope and it slews across darkness, it's like it picks up the darkness and it changes the sense up by itself. It's now back to ×4. Now it's done it all by itself, I haven't touched it. And it seems to do it every time I move the telescope through dark sky. Now, Tarantula Nebula is there, so let's see if we can get it to show up. Let's do it. It's black and white business again. And I also noticed the AGC has jumped up to high. I had it on low. So we go back down to off. We change the AGC to low again. Go back up. And we'll increase the integration. The sense up. We've got colour. We've got black and white. Hey. Well, I'll do some study up on the book on the instructions and the menu, how to adjust this camera and how to set it. And I'll probably make another video on that one on how to do the settings, but at least this video has shown that the kit comes ready to use. It's easy to use, it's easy to set up. You can either have it all close up to the scope or just with that one cable and that one adapter you can move it away. I've got it set up with so it can be moved away at the moment. And optically it's working well. It's showing great views. We've just got to work out this colour problem. But yeah, I'll do some study and I'll fix that and get back to you. And that's the end of this video for now. So see you later.